Let's get the video going. Extremely beautiful day, considering. Dang, I didn't bring my cap. Can I brag? Because I'm going to anyway. Not really a brag, more of just sharing information. Okay, it's totally brag. Yeah, by the time I go to the Rise tonight, I'll already have a full day work in and 47 miles. Or no, yeah, 47 miles. That's not including the 20-mile trek back to base camp. So that'll be 47 miles plus play this race with this dude that shows up. If he shows up the Rise, to sprint to the top of the Rise and then ride back. Not to mention it's like been pushing through old feelings, old trauma. It's like you can only fix it to a certain degree, but it's like when certain situations, see what trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder is, you can fix it to a certain degree. Hang on, let me turn the light off. Brake lights on the bike. But anyways, a lot of these things are basically, in layman's terms, are emotional immaturities. It's places in our mind where we didn't grow up in certain situations. It's like we're stuck in that hurt mode, scared mode, and then we mask it throughout the years with either avoidance or anger or something like that, you know. But anyways, went through some of that this morning. It happens every time. Doing something I got to do with working on my teeth or something is just freaking devastating. Like the day before, the night before, it's just freaking devastating. It's just such shitty Rise. But yeah, a lot of that stemmed in from early childhood, from before the ages of 8 years old, 7, 6, 5 years old. Dealing with that it goes into subconscious hardware, but at least most of it's taken care of. I've squashed most of it to where I can move forward, do what needs to be done. That's all that matters. You just need to squash enough of it to where you can move forward and do what needs to be done. That's it. And I believe there is no trauma that can't be fixed enough to where you can do something with it. I don't believe somebody is completely paralyzed all the way. I've come across some seriously screwed up people in my life. Seriously fucked up people. And yeah, they can be pretty fragile, very fragile, pretty much non-functional to a certain degree. And usually people like that, they pretty much have to live drunk or high or on pain pills or SSRIs or something, alcohol, cigarettes, something consistently every freaking day. They can't function. It's like they're killing themselves. They have to. I know, it's sad, right? But I don't believe it's got to be that way. Not anymore. Not from what I've seen. In these past several years, what I've seen, even these past 3 years, what I've seen, just a person with a pen and paper, imagination, and a little bit of prayer to the spirit of the universe, and a little bit of education can do to rebuild their emotional facilities. I don't believe any of us have any excuse for not rising above. Not one of us. Not a goddamn one of us. I wish my sister Lori, I wish she would put together some keynote speeches or something like that. You want to talk about trauma? Any trauma, if I told you in detail, which I really never shared nothing in public like detail or go into the ugly of life, I haven't done that. But it's like, as bad as it seems to be and as devastating as it's been throughout the years, it's like you talk to somebody like my sister Lori. She's blind and went through like double, triple the shit I went through. And you know what? She's risen above and still rising above and still getting hit with more shit. And still rises above without being a devious, backstabbing, nihilistic, pessimistic bitch. She still lives life and rises above. Now it takes her like 100 cats and 100 dogs and like 10 birds and everything in the house, but you know what? She gets it done. That's what it takes. That is her drugs. That is her alcohol. That is her cigarettes. That is her pain pills. That is, you know, all those pets. Those are what it takes. And yeah, it's pretty messy in there, but you know what? She's excused. She is totally excused. Now, if there's not enough people to go in there and help clean up, then, or if she doesn't want it cleaned up, then that's her gig. All right. We'll get 3 minutes on here. Coming back from the dentist. You know, oral surgery and stuff like that, shit's expensive, man. Shit's expensive. Throughout the years, I've put thousands and thousands of dollars in my freaking mouth. Getting teeth pulled out, put back in, porcelains put in, little posts put in, fake teeth put in, and eventually it gets to the point where you can't do that shit no more. You gotta pull get some those old people dentures. Let me get a drink of water. We'll make this a special 3-minute video. Dang, it's gonna blow the freaking phone over. Maybe I better bring the thing closer. Let's try that. Yeah, let's do that. Hang on. Let's try to bring the whole stump and everything. Besides, it's a nice day. There's gonna be a lot of people on the trail probably. I can, excuse my French. All right, am I in the video? All right, I'm in the video. We'll do a 12 minutes to save the world kind of thing. We'll see what comes about. Just kind of freestyle it, just kind of let it be. I already know I want to share some stuff with Russell Brunson. I can't tell if I'm saying is the name right or not, because when you got all your upper teeth comes out, it feels like you're talking like Daffy Duck every goddamn thing you say. Then again, I talk to people and they say, "Oh, I didn't even know you had your teeth pulled out." It's like, how do you not know? It's like, are you that far in your head and not paying attention to people, or you just don't know? It's like, damn. It's like you didn't even know that happened. I was gone from 2 weeks from that oral surgery. You didn't see that either? Then again, just goes to show we just don't pay attention to each other. We probably shouldn't. All right, 12 minutes to save the world. Here we go. Kick it freestyle. It'll probably be a smidge about me. Probably be about my ego, about me peacocking a little bit. Probably be a little bit of unhealthy pride and ego coming out of my mouth, and there may be actually something something cool come out too. All right, 12 minutes, here it is. Timer's on. Feels like we got all the time in the world, doesn't it? All right. Spirit of the universe. Formless substance of no beginning and no end. What do you wish to be, and how would you like to be shaped? I didn't know if the video was still going or not. I seen a flash go through there. Must have been off that window of that car or whatever. Yeah. The same way there's systems of oppression. And when I mean by oppression, I mean by systems that train people to think reality is negotiable. Systems that give people relief without accountability. Systems that try to brainwash people that forgiveness is master key and there's nothing else, you just do that only. Right now, we look at the playing field, our playing field, right here in the United States. Let's not think about Canada, Mexico, South America, Europe, Germany, Asia, nothing like that. Let's just us right here. We'll take accountability, just us. It's like look at what have we done? What have we become? Let's just go back a couple hundred years. You know, you think about, all right, the American Indian, I'm a member, I'm a tribal member, I'm a Cherokee member. And you think about all those other tribes and stuff, all the way throughout the United States and down into Mexico, these tribes were so clannish, they were so cliquish. I mean, it was extremely dangerous to travel anywhere, extremely dangerous. Some of them were just so religious and so superstitious and so, they were so weighed up with power. It was very similar to right now. And as they're weighed up with power, it's like, they pretty much kill off anybody that come in their territory. It's like they got all the things they need, they got all the food they need, they got all their gardens and farms they need, they got all the food to hunt, they got all their everything to hunt, they got everything they need on their lands, and that is theirs, and it's like they're so freaking tribal. But you know, there was a lot of tribes, you know, like the 5 civilized tribes, what they called them. But anyways, you think about that, you fast forward to that, and you think about the division. Like there was a lot of them that was into slavery. And when I mean a lot of them, I want to say pretty much all of them. You know, I don't care. I don't care what the history books say. I don't care what that. It's like I go by what's handed down from the elders to the next generation to the next generation. That's not in textbooks. I perceive that to be directionally correct. And then you think about the slavery that ended and how it ended, and the way the bigger tribes are divided up. Mainly the Cherokee tribe was the biggest and powerful one, Seminole. We're not going to go into all the hierarchy of that during that time. One of the most famous ones is the Trail of Tears. Then of course the northern tribes, the Lakota Sioux Indians. You know, they were all moved off their lands and moved into other lands, you know, because there was some homesteading to be done. And see, what you don't realize, what most people don't realize, is that was about the cotton. That prime cotton land that the Cherokees were moved off of, all that real estate was strong arm. It's like, well, you know what? It's like, you guys are slave traders, so we'll take it from you guys. And then if you think about what they were fighting for after the Civil War ended, and you think about what was happening and how the Klan formed. See, the Ku Klux Klan, that wasn't a haters group. That was about getting some order set in place. See, the northern tribes and the northern clans, they were still down in the south wreaking havoc several years after. I mean, doing anything they wanted, however they wanted, to anyone and everyone of the south. That's why the Klan was formed, to get some law and order going. And they tried to burn those brainwashing facilities, those kind of churches. They tried to burn those. You'll see movies about that stuff. You know how the Klan was running around burning those churches and stuff. And they portray it like the Klan was like some evil, purely evil, and they were like trying to destroy anything that was good. No, they were trying to contain an outbreak, a psychological outbreak. They were trying to contain the disease of the mind, of those false virtues that were instilled in the slaves that kept them dumbed down. See, weak mind, strong back. That's the principle. They were trying to contain that outbreak. They failed to contain the outbreak. Okay, now fast forward. Boom, 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 boom. Now look at where we're at. Now we'll look at where we're at in the United States. Am I approving of slavery? No. Am I approving of the slaves? No. I'm not for the slaves nor against the slaves. I'm not for the slave trader nor against the slave trader. I'm neither. I don't choose to be either one. I don't want to be either one of those. I think we can be something different. I honestly believe that. And what it is, I don't have a word for it because I don't think humanity has ever evolved to that state of being, that mode of expression. I don't think it's ever happened. That's why I don't really have a word for it. Help me find a word for it so we can have some clear targets to shoot for. Right now, if you look at Pornhub, you look at alcoholism, you look at tobacco sales, you look at Facebook, all these things are basically geared up. They're like bait. It's like, here's the bait. And if the person isn't educated about their mind and how the psychological facilities are, and they're already cultured into those mindsets and they got any kind of false virtues dinging around in their head at all, they'll take that bait. And they'll feed off of that. And they'll feed off of that. And then the creators that make that stuff, they benefit from it. They get the riches off of it. But it's like, isn't there better ways to make riches? Isn't there better ways without someone having to be freaking the demon and someone having to be the victim or someone having to be the hero? Isn't there something? The answer is yeah, there is. I just don't think we're there yet. And I think we're at a tipping place. I think within these past few years, several years, these next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, this will really, really, really govern what happens on this planet next. It's like, well, this will get what we do, what we're doing right here, right now, right here, today, in this very moment, and consistently today, tomorrow, and from here on out, will govern whether this whole planet turns toxic and dies and becomes a wasteland, including its people, and becomes like some kind of, well, like I said, a wasteland. You know, overpopulated. But it's like, is it really overpopulated? I don't think so. It's not overpopulated. It's the way our societies do. It's the way we let shit happen and think it's okay. One minute, 17 seconds. All right, this is a quick note for Russell B. You know, the way you hear me rant and rave on these videos and stuff, You know, I won't talk to you that way or anyone else. It's like, this is a video. That's different. This is the raw, uncut me. I will respect someone's presence. Like if I'm talking to someone, I will do my best to see the dignity in you. Like even the worst of people, I will do my best to find the humanity in them underneath all that trauma, underneath all their hate, underneath all their ugliness, all underneath their narcissism. But I also know not to get caught up in their shit. But you know, I am by far easier to talk to than probably what you would ever imagine. Once you get away from everybody and you can talk to me one-on-one, you might find a comfortability in that vibe that you may be able to talk about anything that you've never ever voiced or questioned in your entire life to another human being, and feel safe to do that, and to know it's safe, and to know that that'll just That's 12 minutes. Such a funky day, April 1st. So much greenage popping out. Got green powder everywhere. It's sneezing season for those that have sinus problems. Life is such a trip, man. It is so trippy. So trippy. Yeah, I'm hoping tonight, 7 p.m. It's like I've been calling this game with this dude to play this race with me. See, it's not just a race. It's not just about male ego. It's not just about pride. It's not just about who's the strongest, who's the fastest grappler, who can throw who off the balance the quickest like that in an 8-second time span, who can pop up and do a sprint up to the top of the rise, full blast all the way to the top, the fastest. It sounds good and everything, but that's part of it. But it's also a part of the fact that quickest way to the rise, to the top of the rise, is to start doing it, to go to the rise and start doing it. Last year I was so, wait, can I brag first? Give me permission to brag, because I'm fixing to throw down some serious hardcore bragging. Alright, whether you give me permission or not. Last year I was so trained up. I trained all year because the rise challenge, it's how many reps you can do, up, down equals 1, how many reps you can do in 1 hour. And it happens in November, and I trained up all year long for that. I mean, serious training. I'm talking hardcore training. I'm talking where I took a tape measure and I measured every freaking step, all the way from the bottom all the way to the top. The rise on it, the tread on it, the thickness of the wood, the distance in between each rise, because see, there's a certain amount of steps, and then there'll be like a short platform that could be anywhere from 10 to 15 feet, and then there'll be some more stairs. I got all that information. I was like timing it out, sprinting up it, seeing what I could do, trying to swing my arms better. I mean, trying to figure out ways to breathe, not breathe, trying to figure out ways to keep my body, to keep it from fatiguing out, you know, because your muscles will burn and they'll lock, and it's like it just feels like you just got stuck in the mud. Seems like people that try to race up it, they make it about a third of the way. And you can see it on them too. You see them, they'll start out strong and they're like bam, 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 and then they'll go bleh. And it happens in the same spot. You can see it happening on the older people, the young people. If you sit down there and watch the rise, it's so cool to watch them people that run up and down it. Some of them younger people that look like they're in their 20s and their 30s, and some of them teenagers, they're pretty athletic. You know, they'll pace themselves out. You can watch them bounce up and down it like a little bunny rabbit. That's pretty cool how they do that. I kind of favor their style. But anyways, but no, seriously, I set a ridiculous mark that you cannot achieve, just like Roger Bannister set a ridiculous mark that you cannot achieve because all the professionals and all the scientists and all the doctors say it cannot be done. So Roger Bannister set a mark. He set a mark to shoot for. And guess what? Once he broke that record, once Roger Bannister broke that sprint record, after that, all of them years since then to now, it's like people break that 4-minute mile or whatever it is, that 4-minute mile. Yeah, I think it's a 4-minute mile. They break it all the time. I mean, there's not people breaking that world record of 3 minutes and like 40 seconds. I mean, that's pretty much about max. But you know what? The fact is before that, nobody could do it. Nobody could do it before he did it. But anyways, on the rise, went ahead and picked out a happy little mark to shoot for. And the mark to shoot for was if you sprint from the bottom, you take these high strides. I mean, if you squat like this, and if you can jump up, skip 3 steps, and hold that mark at that pace all the way to the top, you can make it to the top in 27.9 seconds. If you can hold that. It's possible. It's possible. But it would take a prime athlete, not somebody like me. The best I can do, I can get up the 4th rise. I can hit that first step on the 4th rise. I can get up the 3rd rise and get into that 4th rise. Bam! That's 27.9 seconds. I've never been able to beat. That's my personal best. But I can tell you, if you can't control your heartbeat, if you can't control your breath, if you can't control the power in your legs and the way you're swinging your arms, and you swing your arms to make your legs to double step it, you can't do step by step. You got to double step at a minimum. If you can't pace yourself out and then get about halfway, then sprint up it, you can't beat me. You can't beat me. Your heart will flutter. Your heart will start fluttering, and your breath will start going, and your body will start to go into. It'll start trying to compensate, burning your oxygen and getting your blood and oxygen ratios and the lactic acid burn going out through your skin, because it comes out through your skin and through your sweat. See, it's psychological. See, my lungs have been scarred like just several years back. I do believe somebody gave me a hot dose. If you don't know what a hot dose is, it's like they're trying to kill you. It's like they try to poison you. They put poison in your dope. But anyways, I took a big old hit off of it, and I'm pretty sure that it was bad. If anything, it was a bad batch or something, which happens a lot in the meth world. And ever since then, it like scarred my lungs and my throat. And I haven't been able to sing since then. I used to be able to sing. Not like freaking Whitney Houston sing, but, sing good, and do it, relatively decent. After that, I could feel it. But that has forced me to really work my lungs differently. I've pretty much got one option I can use my lungs at without, I can't do it the way I used to do. But you know what's so cool? It's like, that's what you got to do anyway. Even whether your lungs are scarred or not, that's what you got to do. You got to do it that way. You got to be able to bring your air in. That's like, last year when I was getting trained up, it's like when I'm racing through it, I'm telling my body verbally, out loud. I'll be like, legs, exhale, legs, relax, body, exhale, arms, exhale, head, exhale, breathe. Slow down heart, bam, 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 as I'm running up the steps. Run up the steps, bam, timer goes off. Shit, stop right where I'm at. Relax, turn around, look at it, think that's a good run. Start heading back down, come all the way down, kind of relax a little bit, get my bearings together to me. Write the time down in the journal, in the Rise journal. Set the timer again, boom, hit the timer again, boom. Race up it again, bam, 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 bam. Timer goes off, lactic burn. I'm not even sure what you call it. I call it a lactic burn. It starts burning that lactose acid that goes into energy into your muscles. That's what keeps the power to your muscles. Anyways, I don't know the whole science on it. All I know is that you lock up. You lock up, your heart will flutter, You'll start panting like a dog. You can't catch your breath. That's the rise. That is the rise. God, it's so much fun. So much fun. But you know what? It's like at that time I was so powerful and so confident. I mean, just cocky in my power. Not like so much cocky as in, you know, I could beat your ass or anything, but confident in my plyometric cardio power. I was really confident in that. But you know, it's like the week before the race, I started deviating from my normal routine. I started jogging down the sidewalks around Crossing Apartments, down Horsehead Barn Park and stuff like that, and started sprinting from there to see how fast I could sprint from the Horsehead Barns to the door of the apartment. And by doing that, deep down, I already knew. I guess I self-sabotaged myself and didn't even know it. Because I know when you're older, when you start getting into your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, you do not jog on excuse my French, you do not jog on sidewalks. You do not jog on pavement. That is so hard on the knees. Jog on grass, jog on sand or freaking trails or something, but not freaking sidewalks, not the pavement. My God. Anyways, to make a long story short, I was doing that and I was all freaking thinking I'm all big and bad, thinking, yeah, I got all this youth and it's all from my mind power, yeah. And it is for the most part. And then that couple days before the race, boom, my left leg swells up. Next day, boom, my right leg swells up. Both of my knees are swelled up and I couldn't hardly walk and it was painful. And I was going to work and even my coworker, Joe, she's like, what's up with your leg? She's like, it's kind of fat on that one side. And I'm like, yeah. And then I explained to her basically what I explained to you, but short form. And you know what? That put me out of the rise, man. All that training, all that power, a whole year of freaking training, hard training. But you know what? The beauty was in that training. It wasn't the fact that I didn't get to race. But the beauty was in that training, those days training, the people you talk to, the people you come across. You listen to how they talk and stuff. And some of these people are pretty athletic. They have freaking abs, good muscles, beautiful bodies, beautiful men, beautiful women, you know, in their 20s and stuff like that. And you talk to them and stuff and you see how they're working out and stuff. And it's like, okay, you know. You listen to them, you don't tell them what you're doing, you know, because it makes them look like their workouts are really small. But to be a bragging bastard, that one day, it was Veterans Day, and I did this for my veteran homies and to the spirit of the universe and the spirit of that I ain't even going to say it, that I'll just say that spirit that lives on this planet that we have to deal with. And but anyways, I had it in my head that day I was going to do 1 rep for every state, non-stop, no matter how long it took me. I hit the timer. I was well hydrated. I had me, I think, 2 bottles of water. I think 2 bottles of, I'd have to look at my journal to be specific, but it was something like a half a gallon of water and 2 24-ounce bottles of liquid IV. Okay. And also I had some trifecta salt from Florida in my water. So I was well hydrated. And it was very hot that day. And as I started out, I hit the timer. I get into that first 10, 20. It was real good, but it's getting pretty hard. I mean, I was burning up. I mean, the afternoon sun was burning me up on that Veterans Day. I mean, the sun just glaring down on me. It's pouring in sweat. And I'm thinking, man, I want to have, you know, I should have been wearing a shirt like this, you know, to block the sun, but I wasn't. I was going topless, you know, showing off my shit. But anyways, you know, running that thing and drinking up all that water and everything. And then night started coming. I started getting into that third hour of it, and that's when it started getting really difficult, real difficult. It got dark, everybody was gone. I watched so many people come and go. You know, people come, they do a couple, 3 or 4 or 5 reps. There's a couple people that'll do like 10 reps. You know, those people are pretty impressive. Those are the better looking people. And once in a great while, you'll see somebody that does 15 reps. Up, down equals 1. Once in a while, you see some of those. Those people are really fine-tuned people, real good-looking people in their 20s and their 30s. And some of them older. Not very many, but some of them. But anyways, night came. It got dark real quick. The weather changed like boom, like that. And all of a sudden, it's like all my freaking power was gone. I was just totally fatigued, and I was just pushing, and it's like it took me to a place. It took me to a place I've never known. And then it took me past that place that I never known and made it even worse. It took me straight into hell. I mean, there was things coming out of me. There was like pains and traumas from like childhoods, that memories coming up and being expressed out that I can't even explain. It was like I was crying full on through my face, but yet no tears. That was the weirdest kind of cry. I didn't even know a person could cry like that. But anyways, I was doing that. That was weird. But anyways, and then to top it off, in that last 18 reps to go, 17, 18 reps to go, a storm came in. And not just any storm, a torrential storm. I'm talking dark, dark, dark clouds, to where it becomes so freaking dark. It was like parts of the rise I couldn't even see. I'm feeling for the rail, and while the rain is just coming down in buckets. I mean, the rain is like blowing freaking sideways. Couldn't see shit, slipping and falling, totally wore out, and had that weird cry thing going on. Doing self-talk is like, come on, Tim, one more step, one more step, one more step. Come on, go, 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 go. It's just a step. It's just a step. You got to. Just talking to myself any way and every way I could. Being nice, being mean, whatever it took. So many variations. Just constant self-talk over and over and over. And I was just falling down and tripping and stumbling and tripping and stumbling. The wind was blowing, the freaking trees were coming over, and it was like straight up tornado weather. I mean, freaking lightning fucking booming, and branches breaking down and falling on the thing. It was like it was in the middle of a freaking catastrophe movie or something. And it's like, I think I was down to about that last 10, and it's like I was just so exhausted I couldn't even hardly pull myself up. I'm like pulling myself up like this for every single step, and freaking had that weird crying thing going on. It was coming from deep within. It was like I was just crying and crying, but it wasn't like crying where the tears are coming out of your face, but it was like they're crying without tears. I don't know. That was the only time I ever experienced that. But anyways, that last several, it was just so freaking devastating. That's what took so much time. I think that was where the bulk of the time was in that last, I want to say 17 reps, 18, 17 reps. That last 17, 18 reps. The first 30 weren't bad. But when it got down to that last 10, it was just so freaking devastating. I mean, my legs were literally like jello. I mean, I'm literally falling down, pushing myself up every step all the way, 170 something steps all the way up, and the same way down. Freaking couldn't even hold myself up, all falling down. And, you know, all these crazy thoughts, thinking, oh my God, it's like no one's coming to get you after this race. It's raining. You're covered in rain. It's like it's still raining. It rained that whole time, that last reps. It was about a 40 minute torrential downpour, like buckets, like bam, bam, bam. I was like yelling at the storm. I was like, no, you ain't stopping me. You ain't fucking stopping me. It's like I've gave up on myself all my life. You ain't taking this from me too. And I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And you know what's weird? The last 2 reps, because see, I'd get to the bottom, and I had a paper and a plastic, and I write a mark off, so you know that's how I keep track. So if you're wondering, and this is coming down in torrential pour, and get down, mark it off, head back up. Anyways, I got to those last 2 reps, and something happened. It was like all the pain just left off my body, all the pain inside my body, and it was like I become like Superman. And then it was like boom, 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 and it was like, yeah, it's like I made it. Rep 49, bam, 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 bam. Get all the way to the top, yeah, boom, yeah. Boom, 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 boom. I ran all the way down. Bam, bam, bam. It's still raining. The wind's still blowing. It's still dark as hell. I get all the way to the bottom. Bam. I mark it off. I flip around. I come back. And it's like bam, bam, bam. I was like freaking Sasquatch. I'm talking like goddamn Bigfoot running up that sumbitch. It's like I had this weird power that I'd never heard of or even seen. It's like boom, 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 boom. Get to the top. And I'm like, yeah. And that celebration at that top, when I'd hit that 50 mark, and I knew I made it, and I knew I was going to make it back down. Even if I broke a leg, I'd still make it down and kept my word to myself. That's what was blowing my fucking mind. I was like, yeah. I'm like yelling to God. I'm like yelling to the spirit of the universe. I'm like yelling to myself. And it's like I'm like yelling to the trees, to the freaking lightning, to the clouds, to the rain, to the night, to life and existence. I mean, to the future, to everything. To the future of the United States, to the past of the United States, everything, at the very moment, just freaking celebrating. It's like, yeah. I just couldn't scream loud enough. Couldn't scream yeah loud enough. But anyways, I got over that and I ran back down. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Whew. Marked it off. 50. It's like, why not do a bonus one, Tim? And I'm like, sure thing. Thought you'd never ask. Boom, marked it off. 51. Bam. Boom, 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 boom. Went up to it. Bam. Came back down. It's like that pretty much took it out of me right there. I started really cramping up. But anyways, it was so bad. It was so bad. I didn't have no one to come pick me up or anything. No one to share in the glory with me. And it was still raining. And I'm just sopping wet. My backpack's sopping wet. And I get on my bike and I start riding back in the rain. And it's like almost every other pedal, when I push the pedal, it's like I'd get a Charlie horse. I'd be like, oh. I had to do that almost 4 miles back to the apartment. I get to the apartment, I get my cramp pills. I can't remember the regimen for that. I was pretty well used to it because I was doing the rise so much all summer long. But anyways, the potassium, the zinc, magnesium, I can't remember, vitamin D, all that stuff, and get all that stuff all done. Try to take a shower, get some clothes, and it's the weirdest frame of mind. There was something inside me that said, you see, Tim, you're willing to actually risk killing yourself for something you want. And you would rather fucking die than not reach for it and get it. And that's the feeling I had in me that night at the Rise. My life changed in one night at the Rise. People say you can't change your life overnight. Bullshit. Go to the Rise and rise. You'll change your life in one night. Do 50 reps. Doesn't have to be nothing fancy. Just commit to yourself, I'm going to do 50 reps, whether it takes me 8 hours, 10 hours, 5 hours, 3 hours, whatever. I personally could have done it pretty quick, but it was like when I got into that last 17 of that 50, it's like, it just becomes such a struggle for every single freaking step, man. It's like that's where 3 hours of it went right there, if not more. Anyways, yeah, this is way past 12 minutes. That's like 44 minutes, 37 seconds. Anyways, and you know what? When I got to the top of that rise, when I was doing that, thing, it wasn't so much about the physical aspect. It was about pushing through the pain, pushing through the pain, pushing through the pain, pushing through the pain, pushing through the pain. Literally had to push through each single step. To where when you got to push yourself like this on every single step, and you do that for several reps in a row, up and down, you've got all those little micro wins. Those little micro wins that mean so much. They mean so much. That's the rise. So rise. I'm going to be there early tonight. Russ will be. And I've cut off all supplements and everything like the past 10 days, 8 days, something like that. I have to look on my calendar, something like that. But I've shut all supplements off. I've taken no supplements whatsoever. You compete against me, you're getting is just straight up food and water. Okay, I'm lying. I'm still keeping the probiotics going. When you get older and you've lived the life of an alcoholic addict and 33 years of cigarette addiction and you finally quit all that stuff, your body requires some things, and probiotics is one of them. But other than that, I'm not taking no creatine, no ATP, no freaking muscle builders, no nothing. This is straight up me. And you know what? You got a pretty good chance because I'm pretty beat up right now. Because this week, see, it's 100 miles what I ride to work and then back to work. That's 100 miles minimum. But this week has been really, really windy. And it's like when it's windy, that wind is blowing against you. It's like you're pedaling really hard, it's blowing against you. And a couple of those nights I played a race, you know, so that kind of messed me up. So I'm beat up pretty good. So your chances against me are average. I wouldn't say they're good, but they're average. See, because I've got all this time with the rise. I've got all this emotional attachment with the rise. I've got all this spirituality with the rise. If you ain't got all that with the rise, then it's just the bike over. Who knows, maybe I'm trying to talk shit to talk you down, because maybe I am scared that you are a decent athlete, even though you're old guy, you know? Anyways, I'm going to go get some riding done. I'm going to follow the schedule. I'll show you what the schedule is for the day. Every single day, every day there's a schedule. There is no such thing as a day off. If you're not working, you need to be working. That's what I honestly believe. If you're not working, you need to be working so you don't have to work, so you can do some other creative work that's more valuable, that frees up your time so you can do some other stuff. All right, so right now where we're at number 4. That would be going to the dentist and back, etc. Maybe eat a breakfast. I skipped that. I've decided to do this instead, what we're doing, sitting right here. And come back to base camp, sleep 1.5 hours. Here in a minute, I'm gonna go sleep an hour and a half. Then I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna do 2 hours of this quarter's creative writing. And then I'll eat well, and then I'll prep for the rise. And then I'll head out to the rise at 4:44 is when I'll start riding out there. And I'll be out there about 6, maybe a little beforehand, just so I can sit around and meditate. The goal is to be there at 6:12 p.m. or to be ready to talk to you, or to be ready to play the race at 6:12 p.m. Number 9, play the race. 10, depending on if you show up. If you show up, we got things to talk about. If you don't, we still got things to talk about. So Russell Bronson, are you gonna rise? Because the next opportunity to do this, April 1st, full moon, that's 2045. That's 19 years from now. I'm gonna be like goddamn 70. You're gonna be like 100. We won't be able to do a race worth of shit. Although we would do it, right? So, unless you don't want this to happen, I mean, I know you got a jet, I know you got money. Just fly over here to NWA. Nobody else freaking know. They won't even, well, no, you come over here to NWA, people are gonna recognize you everywhere you go. Just put on a freaking ball cap or something, dude. Put on a non-matching shirt. Make your clothes look weird. You make your clothes look weird, people won't not necessarily want to look straight at you. You know, who knows? Put on some flamboyant sunglasses or something. The ball cap, they won't recognize you. But even if they do recognize you, these people here in the NWA, the way we are, we're all cordial enough to step aside and be like, let these people race. Let these people do this race on the rise. most of these people around here, they're all about health. They're all about rising. They're all about 10X. It's like you go to J Street Gym, gyms like that. You go in there any night of the week, it'll be damn near full up in there. It could be weekend. Well, no, weekend it's going to be pretty loose knit. But anyways, this is so exciting, right? Freaking the ClickFunnels guy. The guy that changed America. See, it's like you changed America. You freaking create. It's like you're like the Sam Walton in your own domain, and it's like you don't even see yourself like that. That's what makes you so cool, dude. That's what makes you so cool. Or at least that, in my opinion, that's what makes you so cool. I watched a lot of your videos and a lot of your stuff, and it's like, man, this dude don't even see himself. He literally can't freaking see himself. I mean, yeah, he sees himself for the most part, but he can't see himself. It's like, dude, it's like you're legendary, man. You're living legend. It's like you shaped the face of our economy, and yet you take no credit for it whatsoever. Blows my mind. And you know why? Because you don't see it as such. You can't see it. You can't freaking see it. I don't know, it'll probably ruin you now, and you probably get on this weird ego trip and have these weird vibes going on now that I've pointed it out. That's the way it always does. When somebody has genius and they're really genius and they're just got this off the wall charts freaking competence in their domain. It's like when you point it out to them, it's like they get awkward and they get weird and then they start tripping up. Sorry, dude. Anyways, see you in the funny papers.